Hey dude, just wanted to address a couple points. I'm gonna make this as quick as possible. But to be honest, I really have okay. I think that we've gone past discussing Asher Roth, but while I would like to see him do a little bit more than just his carefree stuff, and I know he has, I'm just a little bit thinking that his lyrical content and some of his carefree stuff, isn't that great. And you know what? That's whatever. Um, I think he's a fairly talented guy. I don't like his stuff, but I suppose he's fairly talented. And when it comes down to it, better him than some of these other guys. But I'm going to start talking about some of these other guys and the message they're portraying that I don't think is necessary. Is they're sort of creating a fake mockery of hip hop. And I have a big problem with that. And I do know it's supply and demand, and they're trying to get money. But the question of whether they have any morality in doing it. For example, this whole thug image, that it's cool somehow to be thug. And I'm going to be honest with you, I understand that there are some juggalo groups, or juggalos who do that. That's why I'm not a big fan of someone like Blaze Ya Dead Homie, for example. He creates this thug image. But to be honest with you, when I see the psychopathic idea of a thug and all that stuff, I think they're being somewhat ironic, comedic with it. Whereas some of these other rappers are actually trying to make something serious out of it. These like guys are actually creating a persona, like Insane Clown Posse or Twisted. They're creating a persona. The difference is from them and some of these other rappers is they're willing to admit it that what they're doing is a persona. Their clown face, it's all a persona, and it's a gimmick. And some of these other rappers are trying to come off like they're serious with it. Do you understand what I'm coming like how it's different? And I understand you think ICP sucks. That's your opinion, but I really don't think that it means someone's in bad state of mind if they are into the whole Juggalo thing. And I've defended the Juggalo thing on in many other videos of mine, and I defend it for the simple fact that I really don't think that it encourages negative behavior as much as you think as a concept. It's look at it this way, okay? There have been a lot of people that have been put down for so much of their life, being told that this is okay and this is not, and that you're some sort of freak. And this culture gives them a chance to embrace that. The subculture gives them a chance to embrace being different, embrace being a freak. And I think a lot of times when people are a part of it, they come to understand more that there is some morality, and I think that it has gone astray a little bit, or a lot, with a lot of people, where it has become somewhat of a gang mentality, or saying that ideas such as violence are somehow okay. But I can't really blame it on the music. I think it's just that's the type of people that gravitate towards it. And when people join it, sometimes that's what they're like, and it kind of gives them some sort of outlet and gives them people that'll look out for them without, always telling them, you need to do this, you need to do that. Instead, just trying to look out for them and do the best, for them. The thing is, in a way, it's like, yeah, they're being accepted. But usually juggalos will correct another juggalo if they're doing something wrong. For example, if you see a juggalo being racist or homophobic, a lot of juggalos will hop on them and say, whoa, you can't do that if you're going to be a part of this family. Or you can't do that because, that's against everything. And Insane Clown Posse has expressly said they're not homophobic. When they use words like faggot, they don't actually referring to gay people. They're referring to people. Have you seen that South Park episode about faggots? Talking about motorcycle riders and the fags. Well, they're not literally talking about Harley motorcycle riders. I think the point of that is that the word has much different meaning, and it's quite clear, I think, that that's what they mean. And then when they make fun of someone, like calling them gay, like if they call Eminem gay and whatever, they're not saying anything's wrong with homosexuality. They're just talking about, the flaming type. And I don't even think they're saying anything's wrong with that. But if you're straight and someone's saying that you take it in the ass, that could be somewhat of an insult. Understand what I mean? So I don't think they themselves are homophobic. I can see how homosexuals could have a problem with some of what they say, but I don't think their intention is hatred towards homosexuals at all. But on the topic of hip hop, I do agree that the consumer has a big part to do with it. But some of the artists are still creating a bad image. For example, if you take a look at some of the way they would demote women or talk about women, and I know what you're probably gonna say about the fact that I'm like into ICP and they've said stuff about women, but I honestly think maybe I'm naive in saying this. I don't think so, but I honestly think a lot of it is just humorous the way they talk about it, and they kind of give a whole new perspective to overly sexual things. If you listen to songs like Fat Sweaty Betty, they're talking about how larger women could be seen as attractive. Maybe they're saying it's gross at the same time, and maybe some would take it as they make fun of fat girls, but there are fat juggalettes, okay? And I think that's one of the cultures where overweight women get some respect. Don't get treated as if there's something wrong with them for being overweight and or being a little bit chubby. And in a world like that, I think that's great. I'm gonna tell you that I think that's great. So is the juggalo culture something to grow out of? Maybe some of the typical juggalo behaviors might be, but they're you have to grow. See, there's sort of like this sort of a young juggaloism, and it's not so much when it comes to age because I've never taken part in some of the idiocies that you'll see from some juggalos. But then again, to be honest, I'm fairly mentally stable compared to some juggalos, and that's not meant as an insult. Um, Mental stability isn't a matter of insult. In fact, I have a lot of respect for someone who isn't exactly mentally stable and is working through it and is being really strong about it. So I don't mean that as an insult to anybody, but for a lot of people, they come from hard lives. So sometimes they just gotta mess around and whatever. But I don't think that's the juggalo idea that they're working out of. I think it's some of that mentality, that violent mentality, and it gives them a family to gravitate to that can support them and without telling them what to do and kind of give them a way to figure out what's right and wrong for themselves. And I think that's what's great about it is it kind of draws people in with the entertainment and then it gives them a chance to understand it themselves. So when it comes to the supply and demand, I'm cool with that, but I'm not gonna lie, it just is a little bit disconcerting when you see some of these artists that really do have some potential and talent that don't use it, or just when you see some of the guys that don't really make good music that are in the mainstream. And I think the difference with someone like some group like the Insane Clown Posse, and even with Asher Roth from some of these other guys, is the originality. ICP, they're not like good MCs. If they are MCs, I don't know that they are. They're not good lyricists, but they put together an original product, a fairly original product. Some would say that they bit off of Isham, but I think that they did something different from Isham. And, you got to give props to Isham, but, they definitely did something different. And so I would just like to see more. I just want to introduce people, I guess, to the more underground music. Because I'm into underground and indie music too. As you can see, I got the Brother Ali poster in the back. That's not a Juggalo thing. And I'm into the underground stuff, beside not just the Juggalo horrorcore underground that some Juggalos will talk about, but just the regular underground. I'm sure I didn't address some points, and I took longer than possible. So, yeah, any other points you'd like to discuss, either make another video response or hit me up in a message. So, yeah, peace out, dude.